Check, check, check. Go ahead.
You're listening to Athletes and Avatars, the podcast for 30-year-old gaming dads who peaked in high school and prestige in Warzone.
We break down sports, games, and movie hot takes while our wives nod politely and do not care.
From late night lobbies to youth league sidelines, we're still chasing glory.
Ignoring bedtime routines to debate Madden ratings.
Athletes and Avatars, because we still think we got it.
And we definitely don't. Taylor, how's it going, man? How was your weekend?
Oh, coming off a championship week. Good, relaxing first weekend of no sports left for the foreseeable future till fall soccer and flag football.
So 1 week down. It's our second week of the podcast. How you feeling after our first week of posting content and our first episode?
I feel like we went a little long the first week. During it, I didn't think we went long, but the time at the end kind of shocked me.
Yeah.
But we had a pretty good talk.
Yeah, I think we went 45 minutes on Jurassic World Rebirth, which I thought might go a little long. I didn't think it'd go that long, but we'll try and tighten it up this week. So let's hop into it. We have our first segment we call the warm up. So still ongoing is the MLB Draft. We're both, I wouldn't say we're diehard Cardinals fans, but we are pretty big Cardinals fans. We're both wearing
That's
our
right.
Cardinals
That's right.
jerseys and shirts right now. So for the first time since 1998, and basically in our lifetime, the Cardinals had a top five pick. And they had the last time they had top five pick was in 1998 when they took J.D. Drew. Last year they
That's
had
right.
the seventh pick where they took J.J. Wheelerholt, who we both like a lot. So
Yeah.
back-to-back years with the Cardinals having top 10 picks. So a lot to be excited about in Cardinals Nation right now. And honestly, a lot of our draft prep kind of got blew up at the top there, huh?
Dude, just chaos from the jump. I texted you just a little bit before that I just kept seeing Willits as a possibility that early at one, but that seemed like the jump off point for chaos if there was going to be some. And even the guys hosting the draft by pick two, they're like, blow up your mock draft stuff because it's already gone crazy.
Yeah, so no didn't see it. Eli Willits, who was projected to go five to the Cardinals, ends up going one to the Washington Nationals. Then Tyler Brimner goes to the Angels at two. Kate Anderson
Mm-hmm.
goes to the Mariners at three. Then Ethan Holiday goes to the Rockies at four. And I know we are both kind of hoping that he would fall to the Cardinals at five. The big
Yeah,
story there
that'd
is
be
Matt
nice.
Holiday is a Rockies legend, but he's also a Cardinals legend. One of my favorite all-time Cardinals, one of the best players to put on the birds on the bat. So we'll have liked Ethan to fall to five there, but instead the Cardinals get a pitcher who we've both been clamoring for a while, and Liam Doyle, the left-handed flamethrower out of Tennessee, who was second in the country in strikeouts in Division One this year. So at the ceiling of this, he's probably hopefully a solid rotational piece for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Ryan Helsley replacement at closer, we don't know. He is. I've been seeing he's probably the most pro-ready
Yeah,
prospect in this year's draft. Which could be a good thing and a bad thing. He's already at his ceiling, I guess, which could be the bad thing. But if his ceiling's
right.
already kind of high, then if you're the Cardinals, you got a nice young team, you're trying to make a push. I think you're locked and loaded and ready to go. But
Yeah, it's hard to not get excited about a flame throwing lefty, right? And we've had some over the years, but this guy was regarded as someone that not just throws hard, but plays hard, right? I mean, you just see the clips of him, and he is excited and maximum effort all the time. He obviously probably needs to develop a third pitch that can really work for him. I'm assuming, um, a slider or something that'll really keep guys off balance like Helsley does. But let's hope this isn't another Jordan Hicks situation. Not that he was a bust, but just never turned into a starter of any kind of seriousness. So this kid seems like he's amped up and ready to go, and like I said, the most pro ready. So I would imagine we probably see him next year. I think. I don't think this is a hey, put this down for see ya in 2027 or later. I would imagine we see him just because of the Cardinals rotation currently, right? You're almost surely going to lose Fetty, Michaelis, and possibly more.
yep.
So there's going to be a spot to be taken. So with that said, I think we probably see this kid next year.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anyone in the Cardinals rotation or bullpen really is on the team in the next 2 years for sure. The next 3 years, So like,
Mm-hmm.
the probably the youngest pitcher we're excited about is Liberatore, who's come
Right.
on here of late. I don't want to say he's having a breakout season, but he's definitely seems
Solidifying
like
himself as a
he's living up to the potential we thought he had. I think he's been a bit of a disappointment up until this point. But really, outside of him, I can't think of another Cardinals prospect at pitcher that we've been really excited about. I mean,
yeah. McGreevy is kind of the next one up that I think people are excited about, but still young and still working through things. So again, if you compare McGreevy and this kid coming up within the next year or two, yeah, maybe you do have a good top three at that point. 1, 2, 3 punch.
so I don't know if it changes the ceiling of the Cardinals at all, at least in the immediate term.
Right.
I think their floor has been higher than I certainly thought thus far. I think they're overperforming a little bit this year. So we'll see what
Mm-hmm.
happens there. But they did beat the Braves today, the last game before the All-Star break. So a lot to be happy about if you are a Cardinals fan on this Sunday evening, Sunday night.
Right.
Any
And then I've
other?
got a little bit of info on the second round pick, the first guy we took. I just kind of glanced to see some information on him. He's listed as a second baseman shortstop, Ryan Williams, a kid out of Houston High School. He's 18 years old, so a little younger than the pitcher, obviously. But from what I've gathered, he's a good infielder, not a great infielder, but he's got a lefty swing that's pretty fantastic. So they see a lot of contact, not a lot of swings and misses, and I would assume he's going to get moved to the outfield, which also kind of makes sense because you're going to have guys like Newt Barleven by the time he's ready, and some of these other guys, are aging out. So just to give you an idea of the kind of kid they picked up, his 60 time was a 6.74, which puts him in the 94th percentile for his class. So obviously he can kind of fly. And then his infield gun time across the infield was 92 miles an hour, which puts him in the 98th percentile. So obviously got a solid arm, and he's a very solid, if not plus athlete. So I would imagine he turns into a corner outfielder, maybe center fielder. But with Victor there, probably not. But yeah, I'd imagine, if you've got Victor out there and another stud athlete out there, and they can both swing it with any kind of decency and their speed on the bases, that helps.
So my little nugget with him is he went to the same high school as Matt Cain, and
Oh,
you'll
there you go.
appreciate this. Those Levitard show fans out there, Chris Cody once struck out Matt Cain in a
That's
baseball game.
that's
So
a fact. That's a
so
fact.
that is his claim to fame, being the same high school as Matt Cain. So the
That's
draft
right.
is still ongoing. I'm not gonna keep track of what happened after round two.
Mhm.
We won't see these kids for at minimum 3 years for the most part. Any other draft thoughts you got before we move on?
No, I just I thought it was a fun year. I like when things are up in the air, right? When it's not, hey, this guy's going 1, this guy's going 2, this guy's going 3. Like that creates fun just because you don't even at pick 5, you have no clue who you're getting. just because things aren't set in stone. And so that always makes for a fun draft regardless of sport, I think.
All right, so we'll move on to our next segment. We call IRL Respawn, where we kind of talk about stuff going on in our real life. So big news for our resident Timu Ted Lasso here. Add another ring to his youth sport championship. So why don't you recap what happened last week with the youth baseball championship game?
That's right. We got rained out the original game night, and then we played again Wednesday night against the Royals, who, as we discussed in the first episode, had scored the most runs in the league. And so I just really hit home with our guys the importance of getting it back to the pitcher immediately so we can stop these runners. And the rare instance, I think my dad actually nailed it when we talked after the game, where we had a little bit of an advantage being the away team, because since we had the exact same record, actually, we were the away team. They beat us by 4 runs on the season total. We were the away team, but we got to hop on them early. I mean, we scored 5 runs in the first inning, which is the maximum allowed. And to head into the bottom of the first up 5-0 feels pretty good because you feel like you're putting some pressure on. And then we had what hardly ever happens was a 1-2-3 inning. Knox knocked down a ball at second base, threw a kid out at first, and boom, 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 you're up 5-0 after 1 inning and you're feeling great. So we ended up 10-4 going into the last inning, so it didn't matter either way what happened. We might have gave up 1 or 2 there at the end to make it a 10-6 game or something like that, but held on, beat them, and so both boys got a championship, and we've got the trophy in the room. I should have brought it down. Maybe I'll do that for episode 3 just to show proof, but good little Parks and Rec season for sure.
And then went to pizza place afterwards with the kids and the team to celebrate. Get any ice cream at all, or just pizza?
We did. We went to Ohana, a great spot here in town, and got some pizza. And then after that, went to Dairy Queen and dined on some blizzards. We had some blizzard action.
That's a
chocolate chip cookie dough action.
Summer night that dreams are made of, right there.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next segment here called Overtime or Overrated. Got a little 2-parter. First, NBA free agency basically wrapped up. Outside of the Kevin Durant trade, what has kind of piqued your interest in terms of free agency moves, trades, things like that?
I wouldn't say there's one specifically that does. It just kind of still blows my mind that these older guys, right, Lillard, Durant, and them are still the talk of that season, of the free agency, of the trade season. It feels like as a league, we should be more interested in the 25-year-olds. And for that league to still be just so fascinated and enthralled by the 35-year-olds seems crazy to me. So, yeah, I mean, obviously the Durant one's the biggest one. I would probably say that one. But even the extensions, Devin Booker got a 2-year, $145 million extension, which I'm not a great math guy, but that comes to about $70 mil a year, which I know he's obviously a max player and a great player, but to this point, what has Devin Booker shown you to say, hey, you're off the table as far as, us trading you as well? Like if you're the Suns, I would have considered just blowing it all the way up, instead of giving Devin Booker 70 mil per. It was not like we're close anymore with Durant leaving.
Maybe did I not see that he asked for a trade out of there right after he signed that deal?
I don't know, man. I missed that if that is the case, but yeah, that just stunned me. Like I said, not that he's not worth it, because any of those upper echelon guys are always going to get the maximum allowed, right? But at the same time, if I'm the Suns and I can't win it with Durant and Booker and the other pieces they have, and they ran it with Ayton when they had him number 1 overall pick. Like, if we can't figure it out with that, what am I still holding on to? Why not try to be the next Thunder iteration and send Devin Booker packing for 7 firsts and some players and whatever you can get?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Suns obviously still want to build around Booker. I don't know what that looks like for them. I think, I'm like you, I think they just get rid of him while he's got some value still. But we say that, but those trades are hard to come by. No teams have cap space anymore with the way the new CBA is and the first and second aprons and stuff. So these teams are trying to stay in their salary cap and just trying to be pliable. But yeah, I don't know what the move is.
Chet getting 250 mil kind of stunned me. I'm not a huge Chet fan. I see his impact, and yes, he just won a championship. Do I think he's a top 2 player on his own team? I don't. Does he still have room for growth? Yes. But they're just in such a luxury place with all these picks to where they can kind of pick and choose what they want to do to, like you said, get out of the apron if they need to, send one person somewhere, but pick up some other places. Like they have the ultimate flexibility with how they've structured things.
And you mentioned Ayton. He just signed with the Lakers,
Yeah,
which
I like that.
is a interesting signing for sure. I think there's a lot of
If
upside.
LeBron stays,
Correct. We're back in this. LeBron's done this his whole career. He signs 1-2 year deals, just keeps the pressure on the organization.
yeah,
They made the Luka trade, so if I'm the Lakers, I'm getting out of the LeBron business at this point. Like I don't know what he's going to do for you. I think your
mm-hmm.
future is now Luka. Clearly, you gave up AD, and actually didn't really give up a whole lot to get Luka, honestly,
Yeah,
to have a face your franchise for the next 10 years. But you've already made that move. That's Luka's now your future. You don't have to worry about LeBron or what he's doing. So I personally would get out of it, whichever way that looks
it's
like. But
a lot of ball dominance. I mean, like if I'm the Lakers, I want Luka to have the ball the majority of the time, but I also want LeBron to have the ball the majority of the time. So I'm in this weird place of, yes, you both are great, but you both are also ball dominant. And not that LeBron isn't a great passer, not that Luka isn't a great passer, right? But how do you have both be as ball dominant as you can at the same time?
yeah, and then defensively, Luka's not hasn't shown to be a great defender, and then LeBron kind of picks and
40.
chooses when he wants to play defense at this point.
Yeah.
Um, so it'll be interesting to see what the Lakers do. The way the West is so stacked. I don't know their ceiling's what, an 8 seed, 7 seed maybe. You know, I
Yeah. Nobody's saying you're not a playoff team, but what is your ceiling,
like you're
right? I
not you're
mean,
not
like
be- you're
I
not beating the Thunder. You're probably not beating the Nuggets. You're
yeah,
probably not beating the Rockets. You're probably not beating the
right.
Timberwolves. That might be
You're
that
just
might that
not
might
that close.
that might be where the line is. 4, 5, maybe,
Yeah.
depending on what the Clippers do and
things
if
things go right for your injuries here
yeah,
and there for other teams. Yeah, but yeah, you're not close.
right. At least not where the Thunder have shown they are. Which I think they
Right.
might have another run with this team with them, and then I think next offseason gets interesting for them. Because what do you do with Lou
Yeah.
Dort? What do you do with Caruso? What do you do with Casey Wallace? Some of these other pieces that make them so deep. You're not gonna be able to pay
hmm
everybody. So I think it'd be interesting to see what they do. And then in the East, I really like the Desmond Bay trade to the Magic. I think that's a good piece for them. I
I
actually like the Magic a
I
lot this
like the
year.
piece that just felt very steep for Desmond Bain.
Yeah, for the price, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
But then
like
if
the
you
player that just felt steep.
but if you're looking at the East this year, no Tatum, no Halliburton.
Yep.
The Knicks just signed Mike Brown. I don't know what that does or looks like.
In in the year 2025.
And then the Hawks go get Porzingis, so the Hawks are trying to go for it. So like the Pacers, any team in the East now could kind of come out of nowhere with the East being kind of down. The Bucks and Giannis and whatever happens there. I think the Bucks will keep Giannis this offseason, maybe trade him at the deadline next year, kind of see what they have. But it doesn't take
Trae
a
Young
whole
doesn't
lot.
scare anybody.
No. Actually, if you take Trey Young off the Hawks, I actually like the Hawks more without him, with what they have
Yeah, and if I was an
now.
East team, I would make that call. To pair him with somebody. I just don't think he can be your guy. If Trae Young is
Yeah,
your one, you're not going anywhere.
well, yeah, I don't know, I don't know where he goes.
But again, what's that price? Because if Desmond Bain fetches whatever it was, 4 firsts.
Yeah, I don't know where they go. And they got Cleveland, who had the best record in the league last year.
Yeah,
Still,
yeah,
as far as I know, still has the core together. Um,
hmm
so I would say they're definitely the favorites in the East right now.
yeah.
And then some smaller trades like Michael Porter Jr. got traded to the Nets for Cam Johnson to the Nuggets. I actually like Cam Johnson a lot on the
Cam
Nuggets
Johnson in the
now.
bucket. Yeah, Cam Johnson's a
So
bucket. I think he's a little more well-rounded than MPJ.
that's definitely an interesting trade for me. Any other moves you can think of that think will be
Nothing.
impactful?
The most interesting NBA stuff I've watched over the last few days, or news that I've seen, has been just the Cooper Flag and Bronny stuff. That stuff kind of entices me. I like to see those headlines and see. I'd like to see Bronny develop into a player, a 3-and-D player, right? That just doesn't. You can't live up to your dad's name. It's impossible. It's impossible, right?
Yeah, it's an
But
impossible situation for him for sure.
his athleticism would allow him to be a very good 3-and-D player, and I enjoyed watching him the other night show some dog and guard and flag the way he was. So I'm not here for the Ronnie James slander, honestly. Like, he was like pick 55, 56. Everyone thought it was, oh, we're picking you because you're dad. Maybe for the team, but again, his relative athletic scores and all those things like show you absolutely what his potential could be defensively. And what else are you getting at pick 55 in the NBA draft? You know what I'm saying? Like that shows any kind of regularity. So I'm not on team you only made it because you're dad. I do think there's potential there, and I hope he reaches that.
Yeah, we'll see. He's definitely got some playing time, and he's still fairly young, as would be going into his junior year of college, right?
Yeah, he's got to be 20, 21 at most. Yeah.
So definitely some room for me. He's got all the talent in the world. So we'll see what happens with Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
Back to baseball. Tomorrow is one of my favorite events of the year. It's the Home Run Derby. Have you seen who's in the field this year at all? I can read it off if you haven't.
I have seen the majority of the names. I couldn't rattle them off for you right now, but I'm a big Cal Raleigh guy, so I would love to see him win it. I know that.
So here are the eight to be trying to hit him out of Truist Park tomorrow. We got Byron Buxton of the Twins, Junior Caminario, who's a Ray, Jazz Chisholm Jr. of the Yankees, O'Neill Cruz from the Pirates, home team guy Matt Olson for the Braves, your guy Kyle Riley for the Mariners, Brett Rooker for the A's, and James Woods for the National. James Wood for the National.
I'm interested to see James Wood because I always hear about James Wood, but obviously don't ever catch James Wood playing. But he's kind of been a phenom. I don't think we've seen anything like it in at least a while. Just a young guy like that to come in and just mash.
Yeah, they're definitely if you're a casual, the only name you probably are gonna know is gonna be Buxton, Olson, Jazz Chisholm Jr., maybe Kyle Riley because he's hit. Did he hit one today or last night? Do you know?
Not that I've seen, but I know he had whatever he did before. It got him up to 38.
So he had 38 going to the All-Star break, which I think is the first time since Barry Bonds did it in 2001, 2002, something like that. Which
Big Dumper. That's his name. Big Dumper Kyle Raleigh.
So we'll see what he does tomorrow. Hopefully he'll put on a show. Just generally speaking, are you in or out on the Home Run Derby?
I'm not as in as I was when I was 16. But I will say, so it left me, right? So we'll say I watched it from 12 years old to 24 years old. Then I'm out. Now that I've got kids again, especially kids that play, sons that play, I'm back to being in. It's very fun to sit there with them and from a dad's standpoint, watch these Hulks and Giants and kids that, my kids that aspire to be, watch them play and hit these home runs and do these amazing feats. It doesn't hit me the same. It's kind of like a dunk contest. As a grown man, I don't sit down and watch a dunk contest and get that excited. But if you sit my 8 and 6 year old in front of it and I watch their excitement, yeah, it's a good time.
I think I would rather watch the home run derby than the home run derby now than the way the dunk contest is now.
Absolutely.
I think back in the day, both were better. Obviously we grew up with the Vince Carter, elbow in the rim, the Jay Rich dunk contest. I remember I was probably a little bit older than your oldest, probably by a couple of years. But I remember the Bobby Abreu, Josh Hamilton home run derby at Yankee Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't think that thing was going to end. They hit something crazy like 60 home runs.
Right.
I remember when the Cardinals hosted it, I believe in 11 or 12, and Prince Fielder hit one basically out of the park. He hit it in between the scoreboard and the right field terrace.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So I think they got the format right now. They've been kind of tinkering with it the last couple of years.
They have. And you got to give them credit for that, honestly. That's where, baseball has lost some of its steam as far as being upper echelon sport that everybody watches all the time. But I will give baseball credit. The pitch clock and the home run derby changes and stuff like that, they are trying, and these things are working in a positive way. The only thing I'm still a little iffy on, just to step away from the home run derby stuff, is the automatic runner on second and extra innings, which I absolutely get the point of, just kind of speed that up, try to end a game sooner.
Yep.
But being a purist myself as far as playing baseball, that would irk me as a pitcher to have somebody already on second that didn't earn it. And there's something fun and nostalgic about a 19 inning game where you're just doing anything you can to try to find one run.
Yep. Yeah, I remember, a lot of late night games. I know one game went like the Mets and somebody went to like 2, 3 in the morning. They had a game like at 12 noon the next day. I know the Giants had a crazy walk-off win. We were talking sometime last week or 2 weeks ago, and guy smoked the triple to the outfield, hit the brick wall, took a crazy bounce inside the park, walk-off home run.
Walk off that little league stuff.
And then, to kind of bring back to college basketball, Devendorf for the Syracuse Orange, they had that crazy 6 overtime game against UConn. Now, I remember staying up. I think I was in high school at this point. I remember staying up watching that to the end because like you can't take your eyes off it. So there is something about these.
Year.
Yeah, I'd be about sophomore, junior, somewhere in there. But some about these games that just really grip you and it's like what's gonna happen here because when you get to a point where it's like you're in unknown, unseen territory, and that's kind of what sports all about is
everyone's
stuff you haven't seen yet.
So who can dig the deepest or what's the craziest bounce that's going to change this game? And like I said, I understand just aware that it puts on players and stuff. If you for some reason you played 3 straight games that went 14 innings and 11 innings and whatever it might be, I absolutely understand that. But like I said, I'm going to miss. Not that it can't happen again because I guess it still could, but it's just less likely with that runner automatically on second. A good 19 inning, throw whoever you can out there for an inning pitching wise and find a way to find a run.
So I assume Chris Berman will be back. He's about the only thing he does anymore is the home run derby. So as long as I get a few back, that will make my night. So
that's a solid limited fake Chris Berman. I like that.
So I do enjoy that time of year watching.
I do have one kind of neat home run derby story. So one player that I coached named Woodrow Foster. He's now kind of coaches around here around Fulton and stuff too. He's 20, 21 years old, somewhere in there. He was kind of a 12-year-old phenom, just was built bigger, faster, stronger than everyone early. Ended up being a good high school player. And he won the hit pitch run competition consecutive years as like a 10, 11, and 12-year-old. But the 10 and 11-year-old year, he kind of lost it at the regional one. Well, his 12-year-old year, he won every round leading up to where he got so far that he was flown out to the All-Star game and got to be that's the kids that you see out there in the outfield during the home run derby.
Yeah.
Those are kids that have won the pitch run competition then. So I have pictures of him in that and doing that stuff. So that was kind of my neat story there to see one of the kids.
I always kind of wondered how the kids got selected for that. That's a cool little.
There you go.
I always kind of get a little worried when they're kind of I know they wait till the ball stops in play or whatever. There's sometimes they kind of little gray line there on when they throw the next pitch.
That's true.
Especially when it's kind of getting down to the wire there. And then kind of going back to nostalgia talk. I remember being a kid. You mentioned the old school home run derbies. I remember obviously a kid summer break and not really doing a whole lot.
Right.
I would turn on ESPN Classic when that was still a thing. And they would all day long on home run derby day. They would show every home run derby. So I just sit there for 8-9 hours watching the 93, 94, 95, 96, 98, 99 home run derbies up until the actual home run derby was that night. So it's just got a soft spot for me in terms of my childhood and things like that. So.
And I think, and the crazy thing is, like, yes, it's lost a little bit of steam. But I bet you if you ask the players, especially the ones participating, and you can see it from the players that are there supporting the ones that are in it, their teammates, right? It still means something. Like when you watch them, especially by those last round or two, you know what I'm saying? Like they're having to dig deep and like those guys want that. Like that's a cool trophy they know 15 years from now, 20 years from now, 25 years from now on my mantle, my kids might not care about my, gold glove from this year or this from this year. But to look up there and see a home run derby trophy is got some kick to it,
Well, you can tell the teammates that are there watching. When they call timeout, they run out there with a towel and a Gatorade, and they're kind of giving a pet talk, whatever. And they all got their phones out, recording it. It kind of reminds me of
their kids are there. Yeah.
Classic clip of Shaq with his big camcorder watching. I can't remember what dunk contest it is, but dunk contest. He's like, oh my god. It kind of got those vibes of kind of the old school dunk contests and stuff, and definitely it's a fun atmosphere for sure. I would one of my bucket list things is definitely try and go to home run derby.
Home
So
run derby.
next time St. Louis, Kansas City hosts one,
There you
we
go.
might need to
There you go.
might need to go out there and check it out. So we'll move on to our video game portion we call patch notes. Kind of a lot going on in the video game world. Let's start with College Football 26. Came out last week. We started our Dynasty. What are your initial thoughts on the game thus far?
I think the UI is very smooth. It's pretty similar to last year, right? But like that's something they always seem to nail. You know, there's a lot of games that you and I play that immediately we get into. We're like, what are all these tabs? What is all happening here? Right? Well, I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to find that. COD's notoriously bad about it, right? Where you're just lost trying to find these things. It feels very simple, right? It feels very cut, dry, clear. I do like that. You know, for us old people, it's nice to not have to sift through 27 tabs to find what we want. We did start a Dynasty, and it's been fun so far. I am Coastal Carolina. I was feeling pretty good about it until East Carolina came in and let me have it and ruined my undefeated start. But I have no complaints as of right now. We haven't had enough time with it yet to know if, hey, the transfer portal's kind of wonky or this, that, or the other. You know, we got to change these settings or dial them back some. But I have no complaints at this point.
Yeah, the only real, I don't even say complaint, just the injuries seem to be a little too frequent sometimes. You know, seems like every play, especially late in the game, guys like, oh, bruised ribs or something. It's like, oh, come on. And especially it's kind of annoying because if you're in a close game trying to burn clock or whatever and there's an injury timeout, neither team loses a timeout and it stops the clock. It's kind of an annoyance, but we'll adjust that and we'll make those changes. I do play Road to Glory. So I did one, started my career there. The high school aspect,
right?
back to high school, you kind of get to pick your high school name. The mascots are kind of set, you know, but you still get to pick, you know, what position you want to play, what star recruit you want to be. Select your top 10 schools.
Oh, gotcha. So the star rating isn't based off how you play in high school. You're already presetting that.
So you start at your base, at your foundation. So if you you have goals and stuff that you can, I think I ended up being like a 4.5 star by the time I got done with my high school run.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it affects your base overall rating basically. But what really affected me in that game, they actually have real coaches in the game now. You know, Ryan Day, Marcus Freeman, the like. So when I was going through picking schools, I was like, well, yeah, I want Lane Kiffin to recruit me.
That's right.
You know, I want Josh. You know, I got a text from Josh Highpool saying like, "Hey man, we run the veer shoot offense. We play, you know, sideline to sideline. You know, a lot of space for running back. You know, trying to get me to commit to Tennessee." And I was like, "It's cool to see like their actual face and their name and everything instead of just, you know, what was
generic.
You know, in Madden, I think when Belichick wouldn't give them their name, it's the New England coach or whatever."
That's right. That's right.
So they don't have every coach in the game, but they do have some of the higher profile ones. So it's cool to see like Dan Lanning and Ryan Day and, you know, some of the bigger time name coaches being in the game.
On that, shout out to the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack's been great. I'm not a big music and games guy, but just having all the, you know, current songs and some songs from the past, hype songs, things like that, but all done with what sounds like college bands.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic. And then in the opening video, they have Enter Sandman playing in the intro video, and I'm like, well, as soon as I heard that, I'm in. I don't need to see anymore. Sign me up. Take my money. They already took my money at that point, but like I'm in. Right. I don't need to see anymore. We're good. We're good here. You know, I play Ultimate Team too. Some I really haven't gotten super deep into that. Last year I was a little disappointed with Ultimate Team. This year seems like, just from some other people I watch make videos and stuff about it, seems like it's better. Still kind of early to tell. You know, the game's only been out 5 days at this point. So, you know, but that, you know, I said it last year too. Like, this is one of those games, like, if they do it right, we won't need to play another game. Like, this year we got cross-play dynasties. I mean, you can just do dynasties forever. And then if Road to Glory and Ultimate Team is done right, there's a lot of replayability there with that. So definitely on our radar of games we'll be playing pretty consistently, and we'll be talking about throughout our time on the podcast here in the coming weeks and months as the season gets going.
Do we have to have a quick little peak shout out that we conquered the peak?
We did. Missed the live stream. We played 2 Thursdays ago, I think. It's
Somewhere
probably
around there, yeah.
probably our third time playing as the four of us, fifth time,
Uh-huh.
third or fourth, maybe fifth, fourth.
Hour and 45-minute
Yeah,
run.
it took us an hour 45 minutes to beat it. I put a YouTube video out on my personal YouTube channel
Yeah.
about it. That game was a lot of fun. I personally don't think I will do it again. I might try to do a solo peak run just to see if I could do it.
Yeah.
Having done it with four of us, I don't see how solo is possible. But
That's true.
you probably need at least duos, and even then, as a duo, I don't
Yeah.
know if you could do it. I mean, if you get all the loot and you're super smart about your resources and everything, I think you can do it. But it's definitely not gonna be a speed run. You're gonna have to kind of really be patient and take your time and pick your spots
Tactical run.
for sure.
But no, shout out to Peak. It was a great time, and glad we beat it.
Worth the $8 or $10 or whatever it is on Steam. So if you're
Yes.
kind of in a lull right now with gaming and you and your friends looking for something to do, I definitely recommend picking up Peak. So I'll bring this up just because we saw some comments about it on our videos, but some people want us to talk about Fortnite. So Fortnite just had an update. Season, I don't know where we're at.
1 billion.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I don't care. They got Superman in the game now as a mythic item or something. So they found basically a loot drop. You get to be Superman and fly in the air and laser beam people. I watched Ninja play. I sent you some TikToks. I don't even know what I'm looking at in this game anymore, to be honest.
It feels like we aged out of Fortnite very quickly. You're correct.
Yeah, I mean,
we are not target demographic.
And I don't think we were when Fortnite first came out. I'm not an OG. I started playing in season 3, I believe, when John Wick was the Battle Pass skin.
Great job by them. Great call by them, by the way.
And I do miss the days where it's just a 1-by-1 box fight on the hill, and you're kind of just picking each other, and then it it quickly evolves into
that about Superman. Sorry to step on you there. About that Superman item, I would still make the case the Thanos gauntlet is the best one they've done with that. That was hilariously fun and terrifying at the same time when somebody got that gauntlet and you were on that map worried about Thanos showing up. And
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. I think when they did the first Star Wars collab, that was a lot of fun having the lightsabers and stuff too. But yeah, the Thanos one, definitely I think a lot of Fortnite players remember as being one of the better items they added. I did play a little bit when OG came back. What would that be? Around the holiday time, somewhere in there. I thought it would. I thought it captivated my interest a bit more. I played it for about a month, and then I was like, okay, I've had my fill of this. I don't need to play this anymore. I do think what they are doing as parents, having the Fortnite VR side of it. They got Rocket Racing now. They got Lego Fortnite, and they got Guitar Hero. I think they call it Festival. So
live concerts.
Yeah. So for all that, for a free-to-play game as a parent, and then all the custom stuff they have, I definitely see the appeal for it still. Like I said, we've been phased out of the demographic, I think, but if you're a 10-year-old, if you're able to get a guitar that you can plug into your Xbox or PlayStation or whatever and do that, I don't. Why would you play anything else, really? I mean,
it makes too much sense, especially with all the customizable skins and just everything you can do, everything you can imagine. It's almost like the kid version of GTA at this point, right? Like what GTA is going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's unlimited. You can play whatever, and they got Squid Games in it now, and or at least a part of the map is Squid Games and things like that. So definitely can respect what they're doing, but I will admit it's not for me and not for us, I would say. We very quickly, as soon as people started cranking 90s, I said, I'm good.
That's right.
I've had enough.
That's right. Not the target demographic, but we do play some stuff we're not the target demographic for, which is why we stepped into the Fall Guys realm last night.
Yeah, made our Fall Guys come back last night.
You can easily sway me and get me to play some Fall Guys almost any night of the week. I do love to turn my brain off and play that.
Well, it's just a solid, fun game. You just turn your brain off. It's kind of like playing Pac-Man or Mario or something. Back in the day, it's just it's not. Well, Tin Tatman, I guess, would argue this. It's not really a hard game, but we're not getting stream sniped by the entire lobby either, I guess. But there are some levels that are hard. Once you get times towards the end, you don't get handed the
Yeah,
crown by any means. It is competitive
for sure.
to some extent,
For
but
sure.
it is kind of fun just spectating it too. Even just kind of watching like people like what people are doing. It's like what are you thinking there, guy? And and to be fair to them, they have some good skins too.
They do.
You
They
had a
do.
stormtrooper skin on. I know they had a Godzilla collab. I know they had a WWE collab at some point in
Mhm.
time. So,
Halo.
um, but just like Peak, it's another one of those games that proves that just a simple game design and
Yeah,
gameplay loop, and doesn't need to be great graphics
absolutely.
or anything crazy groundbreaking to have a solid game that can
Hmm.
be fun to play for a number of hours or whatever.
For sure.
And then we still play Warzone for whatever reason. Can't
That's
seem to
right.
get away from it. They did introduce Ranked Resurgence, which we dabbled into the other night,
Toes, toes have been dipped in to the Resurgence Ranked.
and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time.
Hmm.
I definitely we had a game where we kind of went crazy and we ended up getting like 400 plus SR, so I went from like bronze two
Yeah.
to silver
Yeah,
one really quick.
you posted our dub, I think, right?
Yeah, I think we won. It wasn't ranked, but at some point we won back. We won 3 games back to back. Um,
Yeah,
we talk about I would say we have a fairly high win rate.
we do.
Um, we talk about it and it's like, is this a normal experience or is this like unique to us kind of thing? I
Hmm.
see other people play on other TikToks and stuff, and I was like, well, we seems like we're in the upper
Yeah,
echelon of.
I would say for our KDs and like what our kill averages are, most people with those same exact KDs and kill averages would probably be stunned or would love to trade spots with us as far as our win ratio. We try to play a little more IQ. No, that doesn't mean camping. That just means very calculated rotations and little movement unless it's necessary. And we've got kind of set locations we love to stop by and hold those for as long as we can. So we tend to play that way because at 34 years old, I'm not hunting 15 kills. I'm hunting a W. Thanks.
Well, a couple buddies you play with, they do want to go kill hunt and stuff like that and try to get 20 kills, but get like 15th or 20th or whatever.
Hmm.
It's like, well, you can do that, or you can do what we do and we get a lot of kills at the end
Hmm.
in moments that matter too. Like we can easily get 5, 6, 8 kills in the final
Yeah.
couple of circles there at the end of the game. To me, like that's the part that gives me my dope is like the in game
Oh yeah.
tactical piece of it. Like that's kind of why I like playing the casual mode. Say what you will about
Hmm.
that, but the you kind of just land. We just talk about whatever. We loot. Then we get to that kind of top 15, top 20. We kind of lock in a little bit.
Got to
But it's
sit up in
nice,
your
kind of
gaming
just
chair.
kind of nice to sit there and kind of just run around, loot, and do whatever, without being super sweaty all the time. But then it gets to a point where it all is PvP basically, and the end game of Warzone is what makes it really good in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So definitely enjoy that part of it.
I agree.
All right, any other thoughts
Game
on
stuff.
anything in video games right now?
No, because I haven't dabbled in rematch yet. I know you guys have a little bit, but I
Uh,
haven't stepped into the rematch streets yet. So as soon as I do, or when we do, then we can probably chat that
yeah,
up. But
actually,
that's all I
honestly, we haven't got into it yet. It's taking up some gigabytes I needed. So,
got. I don't blame you. Don't blame you. We found some other fun stuff in the meantime.
all right, so move on to film room sessions. Couple things on the docket here today. Um, First and foremost, James Gunn reboot of Superman is out now, correct? I believe.
Yes, Salt's
Uh,
already seen it.
what is Salt's initial take on?
Salt rated it very highly, and so I asked him to compare it to the Henry Cavill one because I'm not a big Superman guy myself. Um, but I do like Henry Cavill and this Corn Sweat cat that is the lead for this new one. Not necessarily sold on him being a guy or a guy that I want to go watch.
For those who don't
But
know who he is, he's Glenn Powell's number two in Twist, or not Glenn Powell's. He's with the guy who, what is his name in Twisters?
He's on the opposing.
He's on the
Trail
he's on the bad side of things and Twisters. But anyway, I made the argument that role could be played by anybody. They gave it to him, and then he got Superman.
Yes, and so Salt told me that he thought obviously Henry Cavill's a better actor and played Superman better, but this story and this movie was better than Henry Cavill's Superman, which I would understand because I'm kind of here for James Gunn. Anything, that's the selling point for me more than Corn Sweat for sure.
Yeah, I did see a thing that says DC movies under James Gunn do better in the box office than movies without him. I am notoriously, I don't say anti-DC, but I'm just kind of out on DC movies just in general, outside of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies with Christian Bale, and the new Batman with Robert Pattinson. I like that one a lot, but I'm just not in on Batman on DC movies. The logo, Superman logo for this new movie, I don't like it at all. So
you missed Craven, huh? You didn't catch Craven? Didn't catch you?
No, I'm pretty confident I will not see this movie ever. So hopefully it's good. I mean, I think it'll be good. Marvel's kind of on a downturn right now. So I think his competition would be good for them.
Just a bit of superhero exhaustion, I think, from the majority of people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of the last DC movie I've watched.
You missed Madam Web, huh?
No, yeah, I didn't watch Batman or Superman, I guess. I watched it kind of. I don't think I got through it, to be honest with you, with our guy Ben Affleck.
Flash? You didn't catch Flash? Salt caped for Flash as well?
Yeah, Salt and I have different movie takes, so anything Salt says is good, I'm probably going to say is bad. So
I hear you there.
Let me check the DC universe or whatever we're calling it here. Definitely haven't seen, didn't watch Suicide Squad, didn't watch Justice League, didn't watch Black Adam, didn't watch, what is that called? Aquaman, which I know it did.
Black Adam was solid. Black Adam didn't do well ratings-wise. Jameson and I went to Black Adam and watched it at home after. Fun watch with the kid. Black Adam.
Wonder Woman didn't see. Yeah, I'm not the one to talk to about DC movies here, so this isn't gonna make me go see it by any means. But hopefully the movie's good. I mean, I like Superman, but just that doesn't do it for me, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think there's a lot of superhero fatigue. I think superhero movies have kind of had their heyday and come and gone. There is a lot of content there, obviously, with the comic books, both being DC and Marvel have been around for a very long time. So there's a ton of stories and kind of characters and stuff to be delved into there. Then the next movie on our list, we were playing Dynasty on college football the other night, and you kind of randomly said something like, "Oh, he's found out that she's pregnant." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh, watching Godzilla '98," and I said, "Hang on a minute, what channel is that on?" You said, "Oh, it's on TNT." So we flipped it on, and we kind of watched it together, sort of. I think we are probably the only two people in the world that actually would make a case for that being a good, maybe not good movie, but watchable for sure movie. I would say good. I would say good.
It's an easy throw it on while it's on and catch 30 minutes of it and be entertained.
Yeah, definitely one of those movies is like, oh, he's got New York, I'm in.
It's very similar to Armageddon for me. It gives me a visceral reaction to see Armageddon on, and if I don't stop on it. I need to see where the asteroid's at, what's going on. And that, I know it was earlier before CGI as great as it was, but listen, 1995 to 2000, Armageddon, Godzilla, stuff like that, still hits.
And then I was watching that the other night, and I saw them blow up the Madison Square Garden scene, which is really good.
Yeah.
Really well shot scene, and it reminded me of, I watched Independence Day over the 4th of July weekend, and it reminded me of scenes when they blew up the White House and Empire State Building and some tower in Los Angeles. And then I realized, same director, Roland Emmerich, did both those movies. He did Independence Day in '96 and then backed it up with Godzilla in '98. And, we're both of the age. I remember the marketing around Godzilla when it was in theaters. I remember like the Taco
Yeah.
Bell commercial, and I had the little like baby Godzilla like finger puppet things. Might have some at my parents'
Yeah.
house still, to be honest with you. So I'm just in on that movie. I like it a lot. I like the Hank Azaria character. I like Hank Azaria a lot from The
Yeah.
Simpsons and a lot of different things he does. Um, what, if any, is your biggest gripe with the movie?
Uh, it felt like there were multiple scenes with the female lead. Remind me of her name.
Audrey, I don't know
Audrey.
I don't know her
Yeah,
real name,
I
but
can't name the actress' name, but Audrey's character. Not that you could remove her from the film, obviously, but there was definitely scenes and part of the story where it was just like this doesn't feel helpful, doesn't feel necessary. It just feels like we're just doing this just to do this to have a role here set.
yeah, I mean she's definitely the bridge between Matthew Broderick and Hank Azaria's characters, to kind of get the plot moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they didn't name it Godzilla, and let's just say they named it, let's just take the title Cloverfield and put it over this movie. I think
Okay.
it's a lot better received than it is as a Godzilla movie.
As a Godzilla movie.
So if you call it Monster in New York or just
Right.
some other name, I think it's one, the stakes are taken away from it,
Yeah.
right? You're not trying to live up
You're just
to
trying to live up to hype there. You're trying to meet the hype behind
yeah,
that
you're
name.
trying to match obviously the original Godzilla, all the Godzilla versus Godzilla 2000, and it's the first American try at Godzilla. People really hate the design of it, which I personally don't necessarily hate the look of it, but I can see it's not Godzilla. I mean that's just the way it is.
No,
But
I don't hate the look either, and the all the eggs and babies and stuff like that. That's one of my favorite parts. I mean, I can remember being a kid and be like, "Oh my gosh, look at all these eggs!" Right? You just get terrified immediately and just think like, I don't remember. I mean, obviously that's when you're a kid watching it, but that's one of the better Godzilla scenes I think as a fan watching it is stepping into that and thinking like what you would think seeing all that.
yeah, it's definitely a crazy just the scale of like, oh, this is not good. If
Yeah.
this like
Yeah.
you see how big Godzilla is, what it does, and you got I don't even know hundreds at
At
least
least.
of these things just ready to hatch more eggs, and you can just definitely see like,
Mhm.
oh man, this is bad. And then it has Kevin Dunn in it who plays the Army General. And my take is, if Kevin Dunn's in your movie, you probably got a pretty good movie. He does
That's right.
Godzilla. He's in Small Soldiers. He's in the Transformers original trilogy. Those
Oh,
are all movies
he's a
we like.
fantastic dad. He's a fantastic dad in Transformers.
Yeah, he's just if he's in your movie, you gotta and to me, you got a very solid movie. Even in Draft Day, he's
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
liaison in New York for the Browns in Draft
he
Day.
plays above his role. Like if he's your, like I said, eighth guy, right? Like you nailed it.
Yeah, for sure. He comes in, gives you some solid minutes. Maybe gives you a
Mhm.
bucket. Glue guy. We like to say he does a good job of holding the film together in places. He
That's right.
just has this demeanor and just the way he I
Great
don't I,
dad energy.
yeah
Just great dad energy all
yeah
the time.
just the vibes he brings definitely is just seems real, at least on the dad role of it. When Sam in the second movie when Sam gets I think he actually is killed. Basically, you can just kind of see the emotion there as a dad
Yeah.
watching his son basically get blown up, basically. So, super fun film. Love Godzilla
Spoiler alert.
'98. Yeah, spoiler if you haven't seen Transformers 2 in
Yeah.
2025. I don't know what to tell you at this point. But yeah, Godzilla '98. I like it a lot. Like I said, we probably rate it higher than most would, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
probably get flamed for that a little bit. But to
That's
me,
all
it's
right.
just
Hey, listen,
it's a fun movie.
if you need some 1995 to we'll say like 2002 fun movies, you come to the right place because I can hit you with Volcano, I can hit you with The Mummy. We can get started on all those.
I love
Great,
Volcano.
great time.
So, all right. Anything else in the movie world you wanna hit on?
Nope. I don't think I've got anything upcoming with Jameson. We frequent movies, but there's nothing on our must see list currently.
The only thing, not necessarily must see, but 50th anniversary of Jaws is this year. I think they have the re-release of it in theaters coming out sometime in August. So I'll probably go see that, just kind of experience it. There, obviously, we weren't alive 50 years ago, and Jaws is one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it at least once, if not twice a year. So to be able to see it in theaters will be pretty cool for me personally. Might go by myself. I don't know if I can swing the wife to come watch that with me, or you even. But definitely looking forward to that. So, all right, nothing else. Let's hit the outro. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, buddy. I've got it pulled up.
All right, that's it for this episode of Athletes and Avatars, where the takes are hot, the KDs are mid, and the wives still don't care.
Subscribe, follow, drop a rating, or don't. We're still going to record it.
And we'll see you in the loading screen. Till next week.